Right, welcome to another Top Flight show. So, great to have you back, Rich and Cameron. We are missing Jasmine this week.
We are indeed. We are.
Disappointing.
Sad times, I know. We were promised a cardboard cutout.
Oh yeah.
Where is it?
I've let us down there. I thought I should have sent that to.
Chris.
Sent that to the printers.
It's his job on the line, not ours, Cam.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well,
supposed to be setting the standard at your party.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have Jasmine back next time. She has decided
Absolutely.
to go home for this week with her being Easter. But we'll have you back soon. Come on. We had like a fantastic event in Nantwich. That was the first event that we had, which had the World Athletics label, and a really good ding-dong battle. I was in the commentary team with you because I was working on the new stream setup, and it was lots of moving parts. But how did the race go?
Your take first.
I thought it was interesting. We had a couple of people lead it out from the front. We predicted. Did we predict right who we thought was going to win?
I can't remember. I'm going to say we did.
I think we did. Yeah.
Our ego. We did. Chris got it wrong.
We knew when the triathlon boys come out, they're always going to perform. We said that, didn't we? We said they're always strong. It was a great race. Times weren't anything special, but that was what was going to happen with the conditions, wasn't it? So.
Yeah, I think the conditions were a bit ropey. It was ropey the night before at the podium 5K as well that we'd mentioned in the commentary. And watching the live stream, there was a few bits where it obviously rained heavy and there was big puddles and stuff on the course. So not ideal conditions, but it is UK.
I think it boiled down to it being a race as well.
Yeah, it was a really good race.
I think the times probably did go out the window when a pack got away early doors, and there was a few different tactics employed. Hobbs went off after a couple of K, took it out hard. Then you had Carnegie and Bennett moving through slowly, picking him off at around 4 mile-ish, I think it was. Then them two having a tussle, and then eventually Carnegie getting away from Bennett. And I think it was about the last K or something like that. So
it was even less than that. It was like the last 800, I think. He just dropped the cog, didn't he?
Yeah,
so
and it
got
was
his tactics spot on.
Yeah, so it was a race, but that's what we like to see, isn't it? It's not all about
everyone
the
loves
times.
a race. Everyone loves a race.
Yeah,
I
agree.
That's something I seen David Brailsford say actually in one of his podcasts. He said everyone loves a racer, and I think that's true. So like really shines through in races like what the top flight races. We want to see people head to head, toe to toe, all the way to the line. That's what creates excitement in watching the races, isn't it? So
you're right.
That's up to Carnegie.
A time trial's exciting to watch, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you'd much rather watch a race unfold.
And we had in the women's side as well. We had the top three was Sonia Samuels, Olympian, showing up at the top flight events and doing the business.
Showing the pedigree.
Shara Dufour Jackson in second, and then Cara Mackenzie Tate, who was backing up a performance from Newcastle 10K and getting in the points again. So we had big shout outs to Cara and Jason Bennett, who got a second lot of points on the board, and Jason's going to also be in the Battersea as well, so we'll give him a further shout out when we get the Battersea story, because obviously it does actually mean a lot to us that somebody's already going to get 3 races on the board and 3 points like that. It means something to us, because this has gone from inception 3-4 months ago of just me running around doing everything like behind the scenes, and then now the team's starting to get bigger. Obviously you guys come in, and then Jasmine, and then we've got the guys who are putting the video together like Mike, and then Danny on the live stream for the next one that we've got at Aintree. So we can't sort it for this weekend, but for Aintree we're looking at trying to get a second camera so that we can follow the ladies' race as well. The timing guys are now getting involved to get the spotter mats down, so that we can try and give feedback from who started, what they've gone through. For Battersea, we're trying to do the start line, 2.5k, and then it means we can pick up the ladies as well. So we're going to be able to give like a more in-depth coverage. Like I said, Aintree hopefully will add another bike to try and follow the ladies as well. So we're just trying to add every time. And then another shout out for this week to Katie and Jess in the RunThrough team, who we've worked on like a questionnaire to try and get more information from the athletes who are running. So we've just asked some questions that are like away from season's bests and PBs, so we get a little bit more in depth, more rounded commentary really. So Katie and Jess have done a good job making the questionnaire, compiling the stuff, and it was great, like reading through them responses.
Well, we were just sat laughing
brilliant.
at some before, weren't we? I mean, one of the guys, I mean, we'll come on to, he said his strength was surging, so I don't know whether he's going to do a fartlek mid-race or he's going to try and make it entertaining, but that'd be interesting. But it's nice to find out some personalities behind the athletes at times as well, isn't it? So maybe we can talk about that more in the commentary as well when the race comes on.
Yeah, it gives you like a lot more context as well, because there was one of them that we'll probably mention later on in the podcast as well. But like her background took us by surprise, like a few achievements that she'd had outside of athletics.
Yeah.
Is that the Irish dancer?
That may have involved a little bit of Irish dancing, yeah.
So,
and
Shauna
then, then like had been injured for a significant period of time and then came back, like nasty injuries after like navicular injury, 2 surgeries, then coming back and then showing that form. It just changes your thought process of like what kind of athlete they are, because you're not just looking at a time.
Yeah, so the pressure's on now for the victory dance. The
The
quality of the victory dance.
Got to be nailing a dance if she wins.
Yeah, it's going to be champagne.
No dancing, no champagne.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
Bardsey
Champagne.
should put another bonus on the line. If she does that, then we should hold them to it. A couple £100 if she does a world championship medalist Irish dance at the end of the race.
Yeah.
That would be pretty spectacular for the social media, wouldn't it?
Get that wrote down.
But yeah, it's been great reading through some of them answers. So we'll keep building on that, and we'll save a lot for the commentary. But yeah, like when you read these, we give some options and like what people's strengths were. And when you see the sit and kick, like we're going to be looking out for that person now. We're going to be looking and going like.
He says sit and kick. I prefer the term search and destroy.
Search and destroy.
Always said it. Search and destroy.
That's track mentality, right?
Yeah, it is. It's track hunting, that.
Yeah.
So we mentioned previously and on the commentary at the last event for Nantwich that like the dream coverage for me is doing it like Eurosport do for the Tour de France, where the audience are actually getting the backstory of everybody who's in the peloton, and you come away after watching the Tour de France for like 3 weeks and you know about like everybody and their granny, and then you've got more of a, like, obviously cycling's a different sport, but there's always like a race within a race, and there's breakaways, and it might be 4 guys who, like, if somebody was a casual watcher, they don't know anything about them, but you see them guys again a few races time, and they're in the breakaway, and you're like, oh yeah, that's that guy who like rescued a cat falling from a tree or whatever it is. Like there's just so many stories that athletics, I don't think, has done that very well at all for decades, if ever.
Yeah. I mean, when you stand and watch, it's one of the only sports in the world where you are able to sit on TV and watch, and it's just they're athletes. They're there to perform. They come out on the track. They run a performance. It's almost like you're not even sometimes watching the athletes. You're just watching the performance. So to actually get to know some of the people and get to know what about their lives and other things, yeah, I think it makes a difference. It feels more of a connection when you're watching them. And yeah, I guess that's how in other sports people sometimes have favourites when they watch. It's not necessarily even the best athletes. People just like the personalities and like to follow up certain people.
Yeah, and I can tell that this is really working, because everybody who works for RunThrough has got some like understanding and some passion about running. Otherwise, they wouldn't have started working for the company. But not a lot of people have come from that elite or sub-elite type background. So they really love running, but they're also totally not engaged. So when we started talking about this top flight stuff, it was like over their heads for most people, but it's been creeping in, and this is the first one in the South team, and we had like a team meeting yesterday, and they were all buzzing about it and so excited, and the guy does the event village, he's booking in an extra DJ, things like that. So it's going to be a massive event, and we're slightly tweaking the start times of the main race, because what RunThrough can do differently to the other people who are trying to also give opportunities to runners of this level is we can put them in front of a crowd of people who love running, and we're trying to like bridge that gap and get them engaged. It's worked internally with the people who work for RunThrough, so it's going to work with the people who are turning up at these races. So we've got this race going at Battersea at 9 o'clock in the morning. The main race was due to start at 9:30. It's going to get pushed back slightly so that we're basically holding people there. So they're going to be warming up, milling around when this race starts, and then they're going to be there to watch this race. So it's going to be really engaging, loads of
makes a big difference.
Music and stuff. It's going to be class. Like,
yeah,
it is going to
be class. It becomes an event. It's not just a race. It becomes an event. Everything about it is just on a different level to, your local 10Ks where you turn up to and you'd be crossing the line. There'd just be, the officials there and your mum and dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that type of vibe.
And when we're putting the live streams out, you might get, say, 400, 500 people tune in at the time, but then you go back a couple of days later and there's thousands of people watched it. So people go back and watch after
that.
Yeah, they might have run in the race themselves and then they go back and watch it, or people might have been training to go back. So if we can tell the stories about lots of people, there's going to be so much more engagement. And this is a long-term project, and we've come a massive way in like 3 or 4 races. And this is
that's the thing as well. Like when this series started 3 races ago, like these were all little ideas, and now we're coming up to the 4th race. But the ideas have been like they've been put in place. There's actions coming from them, and now we've got like the different type of information that you can get on the entries and things like that. So it's just grown all the time. Don't know where it'll be in a couple of years' time.
Even bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and we'd mentioned in the commentary and just before Nantwich that we got the World Athletics labels, and we tried to give a little bit of context to that. So all of the top flight races now have the World Athletics labels, so they count as world rankings competitions. It means if you were to run an Olympic or world qualifying time, then it would count for the road and for the track. So if an event doesn't have that certification and you go and run 25 minutes for 10K, it's not going to count. And part of that process is getting your courses remeasured and revalidated so they're not downhill. That's the most obvious one. There can only be 1 meter per K downhill, so it'll just wipe out a load of courses that people go to because they run fast, but they are downhill, so they're not actually legit. Like in the long term, you can say that you can run a downhill mile down a mountain and run 3:40 for a mile and say it's your PB, but it's not really comparable, is it? Which is the whole thing about the fairness. So we've got that, and we also get to share the entry list in advance with the Athletics Integrity Unit, so they can scan that and say to us, look, these people are actually under investigation, or their coach or their training group, so you might not want to invite them. And then that would be back to us as event organisers to decide if we wanted to. So if these races get more successful, you're going to attract some people from further afield who you don't necessarily know, and people could slip the net because you might not be aware of every story. I mean, we've discussed off camera like 85 Kenyans or something banned at the minute for EPO, stuff like that. Like, we don't want people coming to the event to just scoop up prize money potentially, who we then find out a few months later actually they're part of these training groups that have been doped, and we're not interested in that. We're trying to cater for, like, it's an obvious crowd who we're trying to cater for, the top people in this country, and people from further afield if they are legit and they buy into what we're doing. But it's we all know what we're going for, and everybody watching this knows what I mean as well.
I think it's a fine line, isn't it, of trying to figure that out. But I think, I think most importantly, it's creating opportunities for athletes in this country. There's nothing wrong with people coming in. It's just the main thing is that giving athletes opportunities, especially if it's going to bring in faster races. There's negatives and benefits on both sides, isn't there? So
I think these, like the top flight races, like they're great in what they cater for like anyone who's in there. But I think, like your younger athletes that are around like the 18, 19-year-old that are like at the top end of their age group and may struggle to get like the quality age group races, they're going to get to go to these type of events and compete in a really competitive field and get pulled around, but also not just compete in a race that's ran on a road with no atmosphere, and it's just, there's nothing to it. It's not an event. They're going to get the experience of going to an event that's got a feel about it. It's got a big competition feel about it. There's people there watching it. It gives it a different feel. And I think the experience that like 17, 18, 19-year-old, like promising athletes are going to get from it, I feel like there's a real opportunity for them to learn a lot about the trade in these type of races there.
I think as well, it's not even the age group athletes. I think athletes in this country in itself, they don't get an opportunity. There's almost that big jump, isn't there? Like, so there's that limbo stage where if you can be running, like let's exclude the series now, let's exclude podium because they're doing a great job as well. But like, you have races all over the place. You'll go and do a local road race or whatever, and if you feel like you're good enough to get into, say, an international race or like let's say a race that's really super quick in somewhere like Barcelona, but you just can't get in it because they feel like you haven't got the right agent, you haven't got the right contacts to get in, or you're just on that brink of maybe you feel like you could get in the race and you could perform, but you can't get in it. Something like this opens the doors for that, where it can meet a lot of the top athletes in the country, and even if one of the races is jam packed with on the calendar with other races, and the field may not be as strong that time, people can. The course is usually pretty flat and pretty fast, so it's still an opportunity there to run quick if you actually want to go for a quick time.
Yeah.
And yeah, talking about quick times, we had Mark Scott ran at RunThrough's Gloucester half marathon at the weekend, scorched round in 63:40. So it wasn't a top flight event, but it does move the top flight record, well, the RunThrough overall record. It boosted up. So yeah, he's done us a favour there. We won't have to pay out quite
give
as
Give us the inside line though. It wasn't just a half marathon belt, was it?
Yeah, it was very...
Tell the fans what he was doing.
It was very impressive. So he did a 5 mile... You'd have to follow on Strava or whatever. I haven't actually seen that, but I think he did about a 5 mile tempo, a bit of a break in between. And then we planned for bottles to be on the 4 tables that we'd taken out beforehand, just to practice fuel and ready for the London Marathon. And then he was running the half marathon at marathon pace and then some reps afterwards. So to run 63:40, looking very, very smooth and controlled, he's in great shape going into London.
That's
not long till London. That's where he's aiming, isn't it? London. So when is
it? Was it like 2.5 weeks now to London? Something like that. Yeah. It's a big run anyway, as a solo run. Anyone going out and clicking 63 something for a half marathon by themselves is very, very impressive. But then when you give it that little context of a 5 mile tempo beforehand, then a few reps after,
I mean, it's not a course that would be a top flight contender, shall we say, because there's quite a bit of it that's like quite scenic and it's on a towpath, and there's a bit that's tight, which we'd gone through in advance, so he knew when to expect that, so in case there was any like concertina within the field. So he didn't get like hindered or anything by that, but it definitely wasn't like a totally like 2-3 lanes of a road city centre type race that you would associate with running like a super fast performance. So yeah, really
fingers
impressive.
Crossed for him. I hope he does it. Local lad, Richmond and Zetland boy.
Yeah, it's good to get like Brits actually under these Olympic qualifying times as well, isn't it? Like, I mean, over the years, the times have been skewed by ridiculously fast times being run, by a lot of the African athletes, and it just pushes and pushes up that qualifying time. But it's good that we've had some that have actually risen to the bar.
Have they told him that he's going to be selected if he runs time?
Well, I'm not sure, but that's usually what happens, isn't it? You run the time at London, and
I heard through the grapevine that maybe they're not going to select people if they're in London.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
It's too close. I mean, surely you can't omit someone who's run the qualifying time within the qualifying period, right?
Yeah, they've usually done that, so I would assume that's
a good battle as well with him and Caress.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Very good. So, and speaking of Emil, he's got the Battersea 10k record for RunThrough at 28:14. So
that's rapid.
So if you can do that for 10k,
I don't think it's that good.
Yeah, then the 5k times that we've set with the bonus times and stuff, which we'll put up on the screen now.
Yep.
They're massively attainable at Battersea Park. It's a really flat, fast course. It's 2.5k per lap. It's been, like I said, totally remeasured. Operationally, it's a really busy park, but we've put loads of additional marshals on, so we've got twice the amount of marshals that we'd normally have. We've got loads of crowd control barriers, which will all be branded up, so that you haven't got anybody like randomly walking in. There was a race a few years ago where somebody ran into there's a random post on the course, and they hadn't had it marshalled, but like all little things like that, everything's been
they ran into the post?
Yeah. Because they were in a group and somebody moved last minute and they went like.
Oh no, I seen this. Yeah. No, but I might think. Yeah, no, I did actually. I might have watched that on the live stream. mean, Battersea can be like brutal at times. I think there was a guy.
Was it a man?
I'm not going to say who
woman?
it was, but last year I watched
a
it. One of the Battersea ones, and a guy literally stopped before the line. Did you see that? I'm not going to say who it was, but he stopped before the line because he didn't want it to go on his power of 10.
Okay.
And it was actually quite a good run as well. Like, it was like, I'm sure it was like.
He didn't want to go on his power set. Was he going to win the
Apparently,
race?
no, but like, it was like, just from what I was told, it was he didn't want it to go on his power of 10, so he stopped right before the line, and literally someone went straight into the back of him, some guy, and he just walked off. Look, I'm not joking, it's on video.
Yeah.
I was in shock.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I mean,
was like,
Wouldn't happen in a top flight race.
there's some rogue things that go on in races. Like, I'm gonna hold my hands up here. Like, I remember strapping on a number to a race. Yeah. Strapping on, maybe not the right terminology there. Putting on a number to a race because I couldn't get entered in the race.
Right.
But my coach was like, "You have to run that race." And I was like, "Yeah, no bother." So I just got out an old number, like, and put it on. So on the start line, everyone's like, "God, yeah, I know, like South Shields 10k on there." He's me in a Harrier League cross country number. Ran the race, finished second. The plan was I was just going to peel off before the line. It was all barriered. I couldn't get off, so I went through the line. And then they were like, "What's the crack with your number?" And they all started kicking off with me. I got absolutely bollocked first, and then they didn't even show me my results. And the coach was like, "You didn't even run the race, did you?" I was like,
I'm going to watch this Battersea Park, the 5k here that was coming up, and Big Red will be there with these 12-stage relays, national relays number on, sweatband on, armour up across the slot, across the finish line.
I'll give you a look at the AW.
He'll jump on the bus.
Some fashion statement that. So yeah, let's talk about who's going to run at Battersea then. So we've got some very good runners signed up.
I feel like we should do the
Start with females.
Yeah, the elite females, because this is top quality.
Yeah, we were looking through it in our eyes. We're like, this is going to be some race. This. So thank you for the ladies who signed up, because it is hard to recruit for one race ever, but we're trying to do 12 at the same time, and the quality and the quantity has increased each race on the men's and women's side. But the lady side has gone like it's just got way stronger for this event on, which is what we want. And it's going to be a ding dong battle. There's quite a blend of talent in there with very different strengths. So it's going to be fantastic. So we can put the graphic on there now with some of the lead athletes. But let's have a talk through.
Yeah, I mean, is there anyone that stands out for you guys? I mean, looking at it, it's obvious names. You've got Holly Archer.
Yeah.
From Cambridge and Coleridge. She's got to be a big contender.
I mean, Holly's class, and if she wasn't she wasn't the one who said she was going to sit and kick, because she hasn't sent a reply on that yet. But we know that she's got pedigree.
Come on, Holly, get your reply in, man.
European 1500 indoor silver medalist 2021. She has got some wheels on her. So if she's in the mix towards the end, she's going to be very difficult to shake off. We've got Shauna Hayslip, who we talked about in the Nantwich podcast, which she didn't end up making it there, but she's ready to roll for Battersea. She's been in fantastic form, 15:46 PB.
Yeah, that's great.
24th in the World Half Marathon last year. She is going to be a real tough one to beat, and her strengths are the longer distance, as she said. So you can imagine she's going to be somebody who wants to just go out hard. Obviously, it's a mixed race, so she's going to latch on with the men. And then one who nearly slipped the net when I'd initially gone through was Nina Chidanus. Hopefully I pronounced that correct, from Finland. 2-time national champion, went to the Worlds last year for the marathon, 15:58. That's 3 top quality international women in this race.
Yeah. It is. You've got...
There's a range of them.
Reeled off 3 there that could all win it, but like their backgrounds, it's like pure pedigree elite athlete. I mean, European indoor silver medalist. Like, come on, you're not messing about when you're picking up like international medals like that.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got one of the girls who went to the World Universities cross country really recently did the 8th in the short course. And when I was looking down at the research that Jess had done for us, it's run a PB this year, run a PB, run a PB, run a PB. So there's like, of the top 10 entries on the women, 7 of them have run the PB this year. So they're all coming in great form.
One of the things that we scoped out when we were doing the entry sheet that they'd sent in with their information on, and I mentioned it earlier in the podcast about these events being good for your younger sub-elite athletes. Olivia Forrest, like cleaning up on the like under 17 scene and the cross country scene. I think was she undefeated?
Undefeated this year in cross country. So
2023, 2024 season undefeated. So yes, a PB on paper isn't at where the top end is, but for an athlete like that, she's going to be getting in with real like elites here, and going to be getting competitive with them and feeling it out and feeling what the event is like with the senior elite women. And that's going to be a great experience for someone like her. Yeah,
absolutely. So she's targeting the European Under-18 champs this year in Slovakia, coached by her dad. So a big shout out to Paul for coaching her, and is also, which another one that I only picked up on when I glanced at the screen now, another triathlete. So she's a member of the East Region Triathlon Academy. So she's going to be strong.
Yeah.
She's a cross-country runner. And, she's the one, sit and kick. Mm-hmm. So young athlete, but she could massively rise to the occasion here, I think.
Sit and kick.
It's all a good experience as well. If you're aiming for international vests, I think often racing in a domestic field with seniors is very good experience for racing in... when you come to the European level at age group championships and running against people who are, when you go to the difference between Europeans and domestic is at age groups is massive, and I think mixing it up with the likes of Holly Archer, who's a senior medalist, she's got experience, being alongside those guys, I think that's going to give her big confidence going into the track season as well. So I think that's a great shout for her to run, and I'm sure she'll be looking to knock some big times off this year. So
and we've also got there's Millie and Maddie Jordan Lee from Aldershot and at St Mary's. They were well up in the Bucks Cross this year, 7th and 17th. There's a few of the ladies around that 1640 type mark or just inside. We've got Indra Patel from Shaftesbury Barnet and Loughborough. She's coached by Bill Foster, who has been in Loughborough forever. And I mentioned off camera earlier, Bill embarrassed me a few years back when I was I was at warm weather training, and he introduced me as somebody who'd left Loughborough like 15 years ago. And he was actually right. So
you old.
I know. I was like, no, I didn't, Bill. And then I counted the years up, and I was like, oh well, I technically did actually. Yeah.
Honestly, I've always said this about you, Chris. I think you look great for 55. Really do.
Yeah.
That's hairline for a 55-year-old. I ain't seen any 55-year-old with a hairline like that. So keep
myself.
You're wondering why I went absent last summer. That one he had a return ticket to Turkey. Let's get that. It's a compliment.
I haven't needed to go to Turkey yet, like some people.
I never went to Turkey.
Why do we just both look at you?
What you trying to say?
So another shout out for Elsa Palmer, Birmingham Uni. So another PB she ran a podium and then 6 in the Bucks Indoor 3K. So it's absolutely loaded. So we're overjoyed to bring in such a strong field.
Tessa McCormick, she ran 72 high at Sevilla Marathon this year.
Another one.
Sorry, that's good. She's got great pedigree on 5K as well. She's got one of the faster times. So I think that she would be definitely amongst it as well. I think
16:24. So hopefully it's a blanket finish, and we've got quite a few ticking off on bonus times. But it's going to be a fantastic race. We haven't got anybody in the ladies field at the moment who's run another top flight race, so there's going to be even more competitive and tight on the scoreboard, and then hopefully we can sign them up for a few more after that.
Entice them with the extra DJ.
Yeah, exactly. And there's plenty more races in the series now.
They don't know it's actually Chris who's DJ.
Well, I would be keen to go down and DJ.
Karaoke.
But I would miss the race because I would just be too into the set. But
that'll be pretty good to be fair, actually.
And then, let's have a quick chat on the men's then. So we've got some returning faces.
Oh!
Go on.
Our guy.
Go on.
He's back.
Big Jason.
Big, bad Jason Bennett.
He's top of the rankings now,
Oh,
isn't
God,
he?
yeah, definitely.
He's top, isn't he?
Yeah, top of the rankings.
I thought he was, yeah. That's pretty insane, to be fair. I mean, like I looked at his when you filled the forms and you were talking about you've got the athletes to fill in forms about themselves. He just said he just wants to have a win, a PB, and to prove himself as much as possible. Like that is like all you can ask for as an athlete. And it's a great attitude to have. So that's probably why he's running so well. He's probably like he's the pressure is just like
he's in amongst some great runners as well. So Dave Lawrence is his coach, but like some standout names who he trains with, like Omar Ahmed and Kadar Omar, who are, he's running with some really really top runners. He is a full-time worker, so he works in law. So I think that given these like contexts is really good. People don't realise. I think there is a disconnect where anybody who's running at like a run-through race or at any race, and then they see even the good club level runners, they think that they're on like 100 grand a week, professional athletes, which is just totally not true. They don't realise that actually it's probably somebody who's just like at your place of work or next door. It's just that they happen to run in and out of work, or like they're banging in 60 mile a week and just loving it. They don't realise how close they actually are. So it's great to get that little bit of context.
I think though as well with like Jason, I was saying the last race he ran, he'd competed in a podium 5k the night before, and then he'd came
that
and
is
done
correct actually
the 10k the following day. So actually, you look at what he ran at podium, then he came and done the 10k. I feel like he's just going to be racing himself fit anyway, because that was a hard feat to do anyway. Going and doing a 5k, the up and down, like warming up, the adrenaline rush, then the come down after it, then getting up the next morning, then coming out and churning the 10k. So I feel like he's going to be in good form anyway. So and it's not like he's hanging about with 14:49 5k PB. So I can honestly see him clicking more points here and getting well up on this leaderboard.
Yeah, I really hope so, because like I said, it's a great compliment for us that somebody is coming back and performing again, going, actually, I like what you're doing. I'm coming back.
I like what you're doing. I like the money.
Yeah. And I especially like the commentary team.
Yeah. Oh, Big Bad Bennett.
Yeah, he's definitely fan favourite.
Yeah, he is, yeah. Definitely.
So yeah, we've got quite a few others then who we can give shout outs to.
A couple of internationals.
So a few standouts, yeah.
Australian.
Some guy, Edwards Goodard's coming all the way from Australia. Yeah, 5k PB from Boston, short track in 2020.
Yeah, so he is preparing.
Just joking.
Yeah, he is preparing for the marathon.
He's cheeky today,
very very cheeky. What have you been?
He's had too much coffee. That's what it is.
That's all
He's had half a cup of coffee.
He's still going through his Easter eggs and getting the sugar rush.
He's like a little kid, isn't he?
Yeah. So
imagine him on Christmas Day.
I'll get a few nibbles with that one. I was just joking.
Yeah. So 2:12 marathon. He's preparing for the spring marathon, I'm assuming London. So it's going to be a tune-up, but he is a 14 flat 5k guy. So whether he's thinking, I'm going to get in and have it as this like a hard tempo, 14, 15, 14, 20, I haven't got that full insight yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a classy athlete, especially with the 2:12 marathon. And if he's preparing for the marathon, he's going to be in good form. He's going to be strong. So, yeah, really looking forward to seeing how he gets on. A few other standouts too. The PBs don't look fantastic over 5k. So Matt Snowden from Ipswich, 14:57 PB. That is due for a massive revision, surely, because he's ran 150 and 3:46. So
yeah, you would expect so. But to be fair, maybe. But it depends on what his strengths are. He could be like more of an 800 runner. I think I was running 3:43ish, and I was running like 14:49 or something for my 5k. But then that was pre-shoes, was it?
The super shoes do make a difference though, because we've got guys. So massive shout out to Jacob from the LD crew who won the British Unis 800. Massive PB to run 149, then went to Podium C race and ran 14:18 and looked absolutely unreal. I wouldn't have necessarily backed him for a 14:18, but he dominated the race as well, and it does. It does obviously make a difference with the super shoes for the 8:15 guys stepping up, because they're not having them like calf issues. They don't tie up as much. Right. So, and he really reminds me of like Ricky Sues when he was coming through, like in terms of his demeanour, like how he looks when he runs. So yeah, really excited about him running. A few others, another returner, Sam Gabriel.
Yeah, I was just about to pick him out. I don't think we can chat about 5K without mentioning this guy. I mean, 1408 he's clocked PB.
Yeah, and 352, 1500.
Yeah.
And is obviously strong because that Warwick course is strong, hilly. He's got a good half marathon behind him. Second in Warwick.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's going,
352.15 as well. If he's there or thereabouts, that's dangerous. In a 5K road, I think that's good enough speed to be able to knock something out in the last couple hundred metres if he needs to. Another one though, Tom Boardman. Get up there, Boardman. Boardman's back. So looking forward to seeing how he's getting on with his training. He's had a lot of injuries over the years. Went to one of the OGs of people going to Butler really in the US from years ago. So he's sub 30 minutes 10K. PB, so I think, to be honest, I think he'll just be looking on to get out and race prior to the track season.
Exactly. So it's a long time since he was in like PB shape, but like you said, he's had a lot of injuries over the years, but he's somebody who's stuck at it. So like credit to him, man. We know the feeling, and he's stuck at it because he's actually a little bit younger than me, but he's still keep getting at it, even though it's like more than 10 years since some of his PBs. But yeah, like fair play, keep getting out there, and you know what, you can get back to them sort of times, especially with the shoes. It's easy now. Don't even need to try.
You're being cheeky now. You're being cheeky.
Just put them on and run.
These shoes, man.
It's all right when we've got the BC PBs before carbon, then we can say these sort of things.
You're turning into Tim Hutchins now.
I know, I've turned into like I was on
social media now.
What do you think of the shoes? You're for or against? I don't think you can be against.
No, I think
I'm for.
I just think it
took me a while to convert, because I think if you like grow up without them, and then when you put them on, you almost feel like you're cheating yourself a little bit. But I think things are like everyone's like getting used to it now. It's kind of established. So I don't think.
Yeah, I think like the first few years of them being out on the track, because I've not actually run in them on the track, because my last track race was BC.
2002.
2019.
3.
No, 2019.
2002 or 3.
My first sub 350 was 2002, and then my last one was 2019. So good longevity there. So I would have probably been the perfect person to tell you how much advantage they're giving you, because I basically ran about the similar, like around about 345 to 350 for like 17 years back to back or something. So I would have been able to tell you how much difference it's made, but unfortunately I haven't been able to have a go at them yet. But I'm not as much of a fan of them on the track, because I feel like it wasn't a necessary thing to, like, it wasn't really necessary. But on the roads, I feel like they've massively stopped people dropping out of races, getting injured, having like calves being the limiting factor. I always struggled with flats. I would just get tight calves on the 5K or 10K. So it was like rolling the dice. Was I going to like tighten up that day or not? So that, on that front, I wish that they did that, but that they didn't improve the times by so much. So I wish it was just like they were really comfortable and you could perform at the same level and not get tight calves, but that they didn't artificially improve the times compared to not wearing them. That would be the ideal world, but I guess it's like, it is what it is now.
You know what I think? Running trainers look mint now compared to what they used to.
Those nice big pink alpha flies.
Yeah, maybe not the pink alpha flies, but like the gear is much nicer than it was back in the day, isn't it?
What about the Jasari spikes from the 1996?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. You had like you had the odd one, or the Nike Zoom Miler.
There was legit like
but
Ventilus.
Yeah, but I mean overall like.
No, it is
trainers look mint now.
But the costs are a ridiculous amount now as well.
Yeah.
Well, they don't last very long as well, do they? But they're a performance shoe. They're not for going for a steady, easy run. Well, I mean, you can run whatever you want, but they're not designed for that.
To be honest, I'm wearing the Vaporfly 3s now on the track for all of my sessions, because you used to train with me on the track, so I could only wear trainers or my calves were done. So I only ever wore trainers, and then I wore spikes when I raced. But now I can wear them all the time and I'm not having issues.
This is the thing.
So they're actually, I sort of feel like I'm cheating, but But yeah, let's roll through the last few, and then we'll get onto the live stream details and get it ready. So there's quite a few who are mid 14 minutes. We've got Dan Wallace was another one who sort of stood out. He's got really strong PBs, but then he was in America, and then he's not ran anywhere near well since. But given that he's entering these races, is he somebody who's going to like be a shock and surprise and go, like, where's this guy come from?
Yeah, we said this, you've got a bit of ability, which he certainly has got. It doesn't take you long to get back into decent shape, I don't think. So he ran, 15, 20 something in March. Stick another 8 weeks training on that. You can easily see that going sub 15. Maybe not in the shape to win it, but certainly building and progressing in the right direction.
Yeah, so I mean,
from him.
Yeah, so he's ran 3:43, but 2019. So that's again before carbon spikes, and 14:12 then as well. So yeah, like you're right. Like, because if you've been out for a while, I've been out for ages, but I would back myself that if I had like 8 weeks of solid training, the level that you jump up is huge.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
so and people are like, where's that come from? But it's like you've got muscle
It's
memory,
ability,
you've got training
though.
memory.
It is its ability.
So,
Who else we got?
Well,
there's quite there was Grant Cunliffe who ran 14:23 this year in Armagh. So yeah, there's a lot of guys in there who are bang in the middle of the 14 minutes and slightly below, and I think it's just going to be another ding dong battle. There's going to be great atmosphere.
I feel like it's going to be a proper race.
I think there'll be a few.
So.
I think the guys especially usually will, if you're anywhere from sort of 14 minutes all the way to 14:40 for that first 2k, most people's going to be will be there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
It's usually the last couple of k. People get to 3k maybe, and they start to think, wow, their legs are starting to tire.
Yeah, get a bit
you would expect people like Edwin. Well, it depends what shape he's in. Edward Goodard, if he's in good shape, you'd expect him to be at the front. And Gabriel Selassie, you'd expect him to be at the front. But I think considering how close those times are in terms of PBs, I think you would like to think that they'll be battling it out the front. But I don't like to count anybody out. I never do in races, and I think that it's going to be exciting, especially when you get into a race. Finally, not everybody here have been in races where they've been dragged around and pulled around to fast times from people who are better than them, and that's when you see big improvements. A bit like what you were talking about with Jacob and the podium 5k. No one would have put him down to win that 5k.
Yeah.
Look what happens. So I think there'll be a few surprises, without a doubt.
So yeah, looking forward to it, and we'll be back in the studio with the live stream. We're working hard on that behind the scenes because like nobody does this, so it's not like there's no formula to it. We've got Danny cycling along, recording stuff, sending it back to us. We're adding commentary. We're trying to add the graphics. We're going to try and add the extra bike and stuff. So yeah, any comments are welcome. But yeah, we are trying to improve it each and every time.
Yeah, I think like one of the things we try and get over on the live stream on the morning, but maybe it's a bit late to do that, is like when we're here in the studio commentating, like we've got the stream open, so like if people want to get interactive with us and ask us to give shout outs to people, or if they, if there's athletes that they're running that they think they deserve a better recognition for what they've been through or whatever, like just get interactive with us, because we're here.
Exactly, and tell us the backstories.
Yeah.
We'll collate them.
We'll do what we can to get whatever we can out there, 100%.
Like a 5k is going to be quick, but this information we get, obviously we can use it for like other races down the line, and when we do 10k's half marathons, you got more airtime. So yeah, really looking forward to it. So it'll be Saturday morning, the 13th of April, 9 o'clock.
Should we do a quick rip round predictions?
Oh yeah, actually,
right, Chris, go.
Very quick.
Women's.
So I think on the women's, I am going to go for Holly Archer. I think I can just see her come down to a sprint finish and Holly sticking the boot in. She's very, very, very classy athlete.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Holly Archer for the win.
So I don't like everyone doing the same. I don't want to be like this.
Shauna win it because I want to see the Irish dancing.
Yeah.
I don't want everyone to go for the same. I feel like...
No.
I'll tell you what, you can go there and I'm going to go for Olivia Forrest. Sit and kick, win.
Take
a minute off a PB, under 17, just shock us all.
Jasmine's race.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But yeah, no, that'd be a good that would be a big shock, wouldn't it? It'd be a good shock.
Are you going Holly Archer though?
I would like to think that Holly would win, yeah. She's got a new setup. I did actually message her before. She didn't reply. She said she's training, fitting things.
Ignored it.
Inside info.
Seen, blocked, and deleted.
Don't blame her. No, she's training with James Thee now. So he doesn't need any introduction, does he?
Oh, big shout out, James Thee.
And goes to Cardiff once a week to catch up with him. Once a week, 1 week of every month. And I think she's going okay. So I think probably Holly.
Yeah, I think then on the men's side, I think sometimes you do have to buy into the times, but also the form. So Sam Gabriel-Selassie had a great run at Warwick. He's got one of the faster PBs. He's local. Ed Goddard, you would think, is the class of the field on paper, but it's part of the marathon prep. So how important is it going to be to get in a real nitty gritty ding dong battle so close to the marathon? So I think he'll be up there, but I'll go through my loyalty to Top Flight. We'll throw Sam Gabriel-Selassie in there for the win for me.
Biased.
Yeah, I'm of a similar mindset to you, but I think Goddard is going to take it. I think he's the class athlete in the field in terms of the PB. And yeah, he's got marathon prep, but I just fancy him to be in good nick. What I will say, prediction, Jason Bennett to click some more points and click some more coin.
I think I'm going to go for what we were talking about earlier with Matthew Snowden. Just because I feel like you are right. I think that the PB over 800 and 1500, he should be running quicker than 1450 or 1457.
It's that right time of year as well, isn't it? Spring.
And it's coming into the track season.
Tell you what.
One way to improve your 1500 is to really work at that 5K during the winter. Yeah. And yeah, I just think that would be, I think that's something that,
yeah, it'd be good. And it'd be great as well if anybody's doing like the 12 stage this weekend. Yeah. If they want a late entry, just give me a shout. We'll get you on the start line. There's no real limit for us. Let's get you in there.
He wants me to mention the fact that he was on AW the Athletics Weekly.
No, I'm not even bothered by it. I've never even mentioned
Were you on Athletics Weekly front cover? No. Sorry. No, that was me and Red, wasn't it?
That's why I boycotted it.
Yeah.
Cancelled his subscription. Just a couple of has-beens who are now retired, eh?
Look, I'd rather be a has-been than I never was. So yeah. A has-been with an Athletics Weekly cover.
It's got more difficult now, though, hasn't it? Let's be honest. It's every month now. It's not every week.
You never made AW, and Holly Archer's pied you in box tonight. So yeah, go get yourself a McDonald's on the way on there.
Right, well, yeah, we'll see you all soon. So cheers for coming down, lads.
Thanks for having us,
Cheers,
Chris.
Chris.